Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to This is Maria. Today we are talking about something quite fun. We're going to be talking about the spiritual superpowers or the energy superpowers of the people with different eye colors. Not at all scientific, but I figured life is too short. Might as well just have fun while we're at it. Yeah, that's the topic for today. It has been requested, interestingly enough. I have been asked to talk about different eye colors, and we're just going to have a blast, is all I'm going to say. Before we get started, why don't we take care of a couple of housekeeping items? Come meditate with me on our Sacred Universe podcast. It is a heart-led space where we upload sacred journeys every week. So I invite you, if you require healing, if you would want to further your spiritual journey, I think you're going to really, really love it. Our Sacred Universe. Secondarily, check out my book called 72 Keys to Manifestation or An Ancient Path of a Modern Day Alchemist. It is a charged book. It's a channeled book. It's a book that will help you manifest your best life. It is also a very spiritual book. It's a pilgrimage of sorts. It will take you through 72 ancient keys towards your best life. It's very practical. It has meditations, guidance, practices on how you can implement the concepts in the book. And I've had so many of you reach out and tell me that this book has changed your life. So thank you. If you have already, read it, purchased it. I know enough of you are reading it, a second, a third, a fourth time once you get to the end. And, it means the world to me. Alrighty, my darlings, why don't we dive into eye color? How fun. Now, it may seem that, our attributes, the attributes of our physical bodies are anything but spiritual. But, when your higher self selects a particular attribute, it is never random. There is a rhyme to the reason, there is a method to the madness of selecting a particular eye color at soul level. Yes, you may say, hey, but my parents already had a specific eye color, yada, yada, yada. Yes, of course. But we know dominant genes and we know recessive genes. Both of your parents can have a brown eye color and you may still end up with a blue. In other words, your higher self really calls the shots. What if I were to tell you that it was not random, that you ended up with the eye color that you ended up with? Hopefully today, as I'm going through the special abilities, quote unquote, the spiritual significance of each of the eye colors, hopefully you'll recognize a little bit of yourself in this description. And perhaps, if not the entire thing, perhaps not 100% of attributes are going to apply to you. Not 100% of attributes of a particular eye color are going to apply to you, but you should find at least a couple that would resonate with you. And beside, I feel like this gets us deeper into understanding that everything is always a symbol. Everything always has significance. Things in life are never random. Random things and words like luck and accidents are all the words to describe, the cause and effect that you don't understand. And there is definitely a reason why you were born with a particular eye color. If your eye color, by the way, shifted, there's also a reason. It's because your powers have shifted or your powers have changed. So today we're going to go really high level. We can go deeper if you guys want. You can always request more in-depth things. You can DM me on social. You can comment on, under my YouTube videos, and happy to dive in. But today is going to be a quick overview. Why don't we start with brown, the eyes that are brown? This is obviously the vast majority of the human population. And I figured it would be just, a good place to start. Now, there are many different shades of brown. What I'm going to be talking about refers to most eyes that are brown. So let's look and dive into the spiritual significance and the superpowers of people with brown eyes. The brown-eyed people are inherently connected to either one or both of the elements that I'm going to name right now. So it's an earth connection and it's a fire element connection. If you have brown eyes, you may have one or both of these connections that are very ingrained with who you are, both at soul level, but most specifically in this incarnation. So your soul, of all the different menu options available to it, chose for you to have a connection to earth or fire, or both of these elements in your current incarnation if you have brown eyes. What does it mean? The fire element connection has always to do with life force, right? So your higher self had plans for you to be quite active. People with brown color are meant to be quite active. Now, they may be active in different ways, right? So there's usually a calling to be quite active for you in one or multiple areas of your life. Usually the people with the brown eyes have the most resource compared to other eye colors. They have the easiest time replenishing their resource. They have the easiest time accumulating resource, like accumulating energy. So the brown color is very absorbent. It is very, it absorbs the energy, by the way, very interestingly. The brown-eyed people are able to both absorb the energy and the frequencies of Mother Gaia, planet Earth, as well as the sun and solar consciousness. So you're being fed from the top and the bottom, if that makes sense. So you are usually, right, if everything is well, and obviously there's an exception to every rule, but brown-eyed people are usually quite energetic. They usually are quite active. They have a lot of energy to spare. Just be mindful if you have brown eyes that your energy resource may be deeper than other people. If you are dating or you're married to or you're friends with people with other eye colors, please know that you would have a little bit more resource if you're brown-eyed compared to other people. You may not get tired as easily. You may be able to maintain more projects at a time, like carry on, support more projects at a time than other people. Like, I don't know, like brown-eyed people are more likely to be like okay with having multiple jobs and, taking care of their family, and then also somehow having things on weekends that they're doing. And, just you're able to do a lot, right? So you're, and I'm not saying that everybody who is a brown-eyed person is like a doer per se, but, or like, you don't have a lazy bone in your body, but you're just able to do more with your time and remain active, and you don't get tired as easily as other people. And now, you may still have a proficiency, meaning like as a brown-eyed person, you may have like a lane in which you're supposed to be active. And then all the other lanes maybe don't call your name. And that's completely okay. Some of you brown-eyed people are called to be intellectually active. Other people are called to be physically active. Other people are called to be emotionally active, if that makes sense. Or like active in your career or active in your family or active, it doesn't mean that you're active everywhere. But you have a deep well of resource. So your higher self wanted you to be able to replenish your energy very, very easily. It wanted you to always operate from an energy cup that is full, right? Full, not empty. So, on the drawback for these people is you're not necessarily very careful with your resource because there's always going to be more. So you don't feel like you need to plan quite as much as other people. And sometimes you may squander your energy around. Like you may feel, you may also be prone to taking on too much, not being committal to one thing, trying a little bit of everything. And, sometimes because of that, you may get distracted. Right? You may not necessarily be the people that want to stick to one thing. Sometimes, not everybody, but like on the shadow side of the brown, you may be prone to quitting, so not taking things to fruition, right? So that's that. The fire connection also is passion. The brown-eyed people are the most passionate people. Passionate could be romantically passionate. It could be just in general, like ideas really ignite you. You're like a person that's easy to ignite with ideas. You're often, you have things like, you care about things like honor, right? Like very honorable people sometimes have brown eyes, and your principles really matter to you. The brown-eyed people are the most likely to be revolutionaries, actually, and just like forge ahead and being like, hey, this world is broken or whatnot, and we need to fix it. And the brown-eyed people are most likely to be like, I'm here to fix this. Like, you're the fixer-uppers for sure. You're definitely not, oh, by the way, you're not the quiet ones that just want to sit in the corner and be quiet. Usually, the brown-eyed people are better at expressing yourself. So that's another firepower of yours. Like, you're really good at getting what you want through communication, if that makes sense, right? So, natural communicators, a lot of brown people. A lot of brown people can be quite charismatic because of that fire and that passion, right? Like the fire, when it's applied properly, that fire energy, it is warm, it's welcoming, it's enveloping, it's convincing, it's all of those things. Like, so, you may be naturally a really great communicator. You may be naturally very charming. You may be naturally very, it's very easy for you to put two and two together. So, you can have a very active throat center, very active So like in terms of careers, you can make a really, really good lawyer, a really, really good politician, a really, really good teacher. So a really good creative. So the brown-eyed people are very creative very often. The question that you should be asking yourself as a brown-eyed person is, what am I here to create? Because things that you're meant to create sometimes could be bigger than you, right? And that could mean something as simple as, hey, like creating something like a painting or a sculpture, or like writing a poem or like writing a book. Or it could be like creating a particular frequency, or maybe it's creating a particular type of family, or creating a particular type of living conditions for yourself or your neighborhood. That like usually brown-eyed people are really, really good at initiating change, right? So initiating change, they're really good at leadership positions as well, because again, the brown-eyed people are really good at accumulating energy, and you do need a lot of energy to lead others. So very often, if a soul is planning a leadership incarnation, they would choose the brown eyes. Brown-eyed people have a lot of stamina. That's why very often, if you know you're signing up for a life with a lot of physical labor, you would pick brown eyes also, because brown-eyed people have a lot of stamina. They have a higher than normal pain threshold. Like you're able to not maintain, but tolerate a lot more pain than other people. So that's a great resource. You are naturally and intuitively connected to Mother Gaia. In fact, how does Gaia know that somebody is her child? Is a lot of Gaia children come with brown eyes. And what I mean by Gaia children is you're just intuitively connected to planet Earth, and you feel at home here. Actually, of pretty much any eye color, you feel the most at home on planet Earth if you're brown eyes. So that's also like a very, very interesting one. If you have brown eyes, you would have very active chakras in the soles of your feet. And very often it would be easier for you to absorb energies from planet Earth, but at the same time release. So you would be good at releasing things as well. So you're less likely to be stuck with a particular emotion than some other people. Like you're less likely to dwell on things and just like hold a grudge, for instance, compared to some other people. Like you let go, you release things out of your system very well. It's easier for you to detox than some, more easier than a lot of other eye colors. Because again, like you just let go so easily. You're not very clingy. Now, of course, there's exceptions to every rule, and sometimes we get clingy because of trauma. It's a trauma response and abandonment issues, but usually, like you don't cling to people, places, energies. Like you accept easily, you release easily. Your connection with planet Earth also means your connection to abundance. Actually, in some ways, it's easier to make money if you have brown eyes, again, because of that energy resource. So it's easier for you to make a living. It's easier for you to support your family compared to some other people. It's easier for you to work longer hours. It's easier for you to go an extra mile than a lot of other people, right? You just have that resource. Easier for you to run a marathon. Easier for you to give birth. Like all of these things that require stamina and resilience. You guys, you have it. That's for sure. So these are the brown-eyed people. Now, listen, I want to talk about every single eye color for probably 60 hours, but I don't think we have the time. So why don't I move on to the blue-eyed people? Now, of course, there are shade ranges in blue-eyed people. Yeah, you can have your deep blue eyes or like very light blue eyes. Typically, what I'm going to say applies to most blue-eyed people. If you have been graced with a pair of blue eyes, that means that your higher self selected two primary elements for you to carry and emanate. So you are best friends with air and you're best friends with water. Now, you can be best friends with both, or actually sometimes, depending on your color, it can be one or the other. Lighter colors of the blue spectrum are usually more air prone. Deeper color of the blue are usually water prone. And if you're in between, most likely it's both. What does it mean? A lot of extraterrestrials would have blue eyes. It doesn't really mean that it's not always the case. There are a lot of people with blue eyes who are not starseeds. But a lot of extraterrestrials, especially of the Nordic, arena, would choose to manifest a body that has blue eyes. And it is because that is connected to air and therefore ether. It's actually a lot easier to connect to higher realms and, keep ties with other planets, so to say, in your home worlds. If your home world is not Earth, if you have blue eyes. Blue-eyed people usually have an easier time opening up higher chakras. Very often they are, their throat center is extremely active. Their third eye is very active, and even their crown. So all of the three upper chakras, can be active from birth compared to some other folks that may need to spend so much time just like opening things up, right? So you have that pre-built connection with higher spheres, if that makes sense. You have a natural propensity. Please take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. A natural propensity doesn't mean that it's down pat and it's front and center and top of mind for you, but it just means that you have an easier time with this than other people. You have a natural propensity to be able to connect to the Akashic records a lot better than other people. You have a natural propensity to develop any and all of the clairs more so than other people. You have a natural propensity to have a communication with your spirit guides more so than other people, right? So everything that's an upward connection. Blue-eyed people may feel more connected to God than others, or source, whatever, right? So because again, they connect upwards very, very easily. At the same time, on the flip side of this, you may run the risk of being ungrounded or more ungrounded than, let's say, your brown-eyed people, because the brown-eyed people, you always are maintaining that connection with Mother Gaia, with Mother Earth as your earth element. You're not going to fly out in stratosphere and forget to make money. Whereas with a blue-eyed person, sometimes you have to like remember and remind yourself, hey, I'm incarnated. I'm here. This is my home now. I need to do the things. I need to make a living, maybe pay rent. So wouldn't that be nice? And there could be some like blue-eyed people have the hardest time sometimes with the physicality, especially like the more spiritually inclined you become. Like you may forget like eating or like exercise, or like not even forget, but like that may become like such a not a priority for you whatsoever, because it's almost like your physical body is not a priority for you. You're very intellectual. Actually, the blue-eyed people are very connected to the intellect. That's your air, right? Connection. So you're very brainy. You're very prone to overthinking things. Or if you're not overthinking things, then you're extremely introspective. The blue-eyed people have the highest propensity of being introverted, actually, compared to all the other eye colors, whereas the brown-eyed people are actually more extroverted. Blue-eyed people need to be careful with their energy and they need to be a lot more systematic because they don't have quite so much. Neither air nor water is very easy to not even contain, but it's like to grasp onto. Like neither of these are very stable energy forms, and so they're like in and out, and that's why it's very hard to maintain stability as a blue-eyed person energetically. Sometimes you may wake up in the morning and you're like, God damn it, I'm already drained. Like you're very prone actually to moods, like mood swings could be a thing. And you're also, unbeknownst to you, you may be a lot more prone to the emotions, feelings, and thoughts of the collective around you than other people. It's like you are naturally scanning your surroundings, whether you realize this or not, and you may pick up a lot more emotions, feelings, thoughts from other people than people with other eye colors. And it's like you don't really have the protective systems that a lot of other people have. And so it's like an open invitation for other entities to kind of like come in and like play in your auric field, right? So just understand that as a blue-eyed person, you're extremely receptive. Both air and water are receptive, right? Like if you try to throw a stone on the ground, at the earth doesn't just split and allow the stone in. The earth is just staying where it is, right? And the stone is going to hit the earth. Whereas the water and the air, you can you can throw the stone through the water and the air. They're a lot more transient, right? So you're a lot more flexible in some ways, extremely flexible, and almost like malleable, right? You adjust very easily. It's really hard to phase you or get you off your center, off your axis of your cool, but at the same time, you don't really have that stability. And so for you, it may be actually really grounding in some ways to have somebody in your life or like a partner with either brown eyes or green eyes, because they would ground you. It's almost like they're your tether to this world, and they may even help you feel at home on this planet, like almost like build like a safe haven for you. Whereas you on your own, you may just you may have a harder time feeling like finding a sense of belonging, or even committing to things, because water doesn't really like committing to things, and neither does air for that matter. You actually like your independence. You like to keep your options open. You always, you always make sure that there's the back door and the escape plan, if anything, right? So you're not necessarily one to be tied down. It's very important for you, if you're blue-eyed, to make sure that there is some semblance or some level of independence in your life. And then there is some time for you that is just you time, where nobody can dictate to you what to do during those couple of hours that are just you time. Like you need that. It's like the Aquarius energies. How do I explain this? It's like if you're being put in a box, or like there are so many expectations from somebody else on you, you're going to want to escape. So for you, healthy relationships are relationships where somebody like your partner recognizes that you're right to be autonomous to some degree, right? Because you're actually very influenceable as water. You're very influenceable, meaning, again, other people really impact you. Their thoughts really impact you. So for you, more so than any other type, it's important to be with the right partner. It's important to be with the right group of friends. It's important to not have toxicity around you, because toxic people literally would rub off on you like nobody's business. And it is important for you to not have a partner that's too controlling, that would allow you to have your own thing, either a hobby or your own corner in the house that's just your own, that they don't touch. You don't really like rigidity too much. Like you don't like rigid schedules. So it's important for you to allow some time in your schedule for you to just float, not too prescriptive. Like allow yourself the times of day that are non-regimented, that you don't have to be somewhere, do something particular, that you can just adjust, and you're going to find that you're a lot happier like that. You're going to want to watch for your resource. The blue-eyed people are the ones that don't always have the resource. So you need to be very deliberate with the things that you do and the things that you do not do. You cannot maintain quite as many, let's say, ongoing projects as a brown-eyed person, right? You just don't have the resource. At the same time, you feel things really, really deeply. Water is emotion. And it could be, there is the shadow side of this and there is the light side of this. The light side of it is you can be a tremendous empath. You could be psychic. You could read people's thoughts, not quite literally, but you kind of like, you look at them and you're like, I kind of know what they're thinking. You could be a really, really good judge of character. You may be slightly prophetic. You may actually be really, really good for social groups, like bringing groups together. Like all of those things are like water elements. But at the same time, the downside of water is you feel things too deeply, deeper than others. So words can cut you really deep. Whereas like for the brown-eyed person, like somebody tells them something nasty and it just rolls off of them. With you, like some words stay with you for decades. So just be careful. And like for you, it's very important to detox actually. So like having detox, fasting for you is really, really important, because you need to make a point to release and detox things out of your body, because it's not going to happen naturally for you like it does for the brown-eyed people. You're going to have to work at it. So, and for you, it's really, really important to actually have days in a week where you're going lighter in terms of food, even maybe skip a meal, or maybe you just, you don't go heavy, like maybe just go salads or something, or maybe even like smoothies and salads or something like that, because you need to, your body needs that a little bit extra help, because you're actually the most likely to have digestion issues, again, because you're not really tethered to this world. You're kind of a little bit up in the air. And for you, like digestion issues may come up, and for your body to be able to process foods easily, it's easier for you actually to, you would need to help it out. And that means like maybe fasting, maybe intermittent fasting. Look into that if you haven't really done that. Yeah, and understand that sometimes you can get moody. Blue-eyed people are very likely to have depression, more likely than other types actually. Now, brown-eyed people are the most likely to have anxiety. So there you have it. It's not like, it is what it is. But just know that you can get really, really moody and too much in your world. And like, you just have this propensity to like not let things go, and like simmer on things and just hold a grudge a little bit. And sometimes it's not sometimes, very often it's not to your benefit, right? Like when you're holding on to things too much and like it's like it could be a downward spiral. So just know this about yourself, that you have these tendencies to blow things out of proportion and allow yourself to release and allow yourself to let go. And yeah, that's amazing though. You are, like I said, you have so many talents around being connected to higher realms and higher spheres. And you could be I mean, you're so spiritually gifted. Like your dreams, pay attention to your dreams more so than other people. Like for other people, like dreams may just be dreams, but for you, it's always a healing space. So there is always like a message for you in the dream. So yeah, pay attention. Alrighty, my darlings. One other thing. You're very likely connected to Lemuria. You may be connected to planet Sirius. You may be connected to planet Arcturus if you have blue eyes. You may feel a special affinity to dolphins and whales and mermaids. All of those things could be present for you if you are connected to, if you have blue eyes. It's just one of those things that just happens to be the case. Whereas the brown-eyed people are connected to sprites and fire elementals a lot. So just putting it out there. Okay, green eyes. So you guys ready? Green eyes are pretty much the most twitchy eyes that exist. I won't be the first nor the last to say this. The witches, are most likely, whether male or female, it doesn't really matter, are most likely to have the green eyes. The green eyes are, it's a connection to earth and it's a connection to ether, actually. The green-eyed people are most connected to, but when I say earth, it's not the same connection as the brown-eyed people. The brown-eyed people are connecting to earth more on the resource level. It's almost like they understand the physicality of earth. They're kind of comfortable here. They feel at home here. Whereas the green-eyed people are connected to earth on the physical level as well as the etheric level, meaning all of the entire auric field of planet Earth, all of its light bodies you're connected to. So you're deeper connected. It's like you're not connected to the surface level of planet Earth. You are all the way there. So you're most likely to be connected to the elemental kingdom of all of the eye colors. You're very often connected to trees. A lot of druids in the past, and a lot of people in the Celtic religion, maybe not religion, in faith. I don't even know what to call it. A lot of the Celts had green eyes because a lot of this is the elemental connection to the dryads, right? The spirit of trees, your tree whisperers. You may draw special powers from everything and anything that's green. So for you, anything from green crystals to, green moss, to leaves, to grass, is a resource for you. So like you can really get extremely powered and empowered by those, by everything green in nature. In general, you may notice that nature really replenishes you. So for you, being in nature is paramount. Nature will speak to you. Nature will heal you more so than others. It's like everything in nature vibrates at your frequency almost, and nature takes you as a part of itself. So, you also have a propensity for herbal medicine, like understanding the language of plants, sacred plants, or just plant medicines, or flowers and flower essences and tree barks and teas and healing tinctures, all of that, like it can come quite naturally to you. You may notice that the further down the rabbit hole of awakening you go, you may just start getting recipes in your head, or you may start getting a calling to like gather plants and dry them up a certain way and then prepare certain things. You're most likely to mix, oils together, or just in general, like there's this mixologist vibe about you. I don't mean it in like the mixing alcohol, but mixing anything really. Like it's a little bit of like brewing. It's again the witchy powers you have. You're very connected, like I said, to the elementals, but you're most connected probably to the elven kingdom, the gnomes, a little bit to the fae kingdom, the fairies, and you're connected to dragons. So if you haven't really, as a green-eyed person, if you haven't connected to these elementals, maybe you should really, really consider that. You may discover a whole new world and just a natural like remembrance of a lot of these kingdoms and Very often you have, people with green eyes have incarnated in past lives inside of the elemental kingdoms or in inner earth, and potentially some of you even have parallel incarnations there. You are connected to magic. The green-eyed people are the most naturally magical people. Very often you're healers. Your power is in your hands, in your palms. You're really good at transmitting energy through your palms, also absorbing energy if you have to. So you can absorb the negativity through your palms. You could heal through your hands very, very easily. It's just something, it's like you're a natural. It's like when you're a baby, you could heal, right? Like a lot of that, you probably make the best Reiki practitioners. Actually, a lot of green-eyed people make really, really good acupuncturists as well, because that is kind of, you still need your hands kind of like to put the needles, right? And it's almost like you can sense the energy very, very well with your hands as well. You're extremely sensitive in terms of just feeling energy. You're really good judges of character, but it's almost like a gut feeling. Whereas like the blue-eyed people, it's like they have this insight, like this aha moment that comes from the top of their head and just drops into their heart space, and then they know. You have it like rising from the bottom and into your gut center. Like you feel people with your belly, if that makes sense. And so you really need to listen to your stomach, because that is your stomach and your womb, and by the way, your womb space, you can have a womb space even if you're not female. Like there's a lot of wisdom for you also in the sacral center. Your sacral chakra is going to be through the roof. What's really good for you are all of the creative activities that activate the sacral center, from dance to painting to, oh my gosh, yoga flows, depending on which yoga, of course. But, really becoming in tune with your inner sensuality can really amplify your gifts. For you, it's very important to have a very healed sacral center, because that is kind of the seat of your power. A lot of womb work, working with the energy of the primordial void and the divine mother could be really, really healing for you. What else? You could also be psychics, but very different. Usually, the green-eyed people like working with the tools. So whether that is tarot, whether that is the pendulum, the runes, you need, again, because your magic is connected to your hands, anything you can touch, crystal bowls, reading tea leaves, all of the things that you can touch, so to say, you're going to be a natural. It's almost like you need a medium to be able to read into an energy, right? Like whereas like the blue-eyed people just see things usually with their third eye, or can just perceive like through claircognizance or clairsentience, where like again information just drops into their head. For you, it's a little bit different. Like it's almost like you absorb information with your skin. And so you have to trust your sensations. You have to trust your feelings. Usually people may just give you like a weird vibe, and it's almost like your hairs rise, like your hackles rise up, like when like you're in the presence of bad energy. So just be very present to your physical sensation. Your body is always going to be your barometer. So for you, if you want to develop your gifts, leaning into your connection with your physical body, you would, out of all people, you're most prone to developing, like using your body as a sacred vessel that contains your energy, like your inner sanctum, if that makes sense. But using it almost as like a means of ritual. Like you're a very ritualistic type of being, right? Like you like ritual. You like things like, I don't know, new moons, full moons, solstices, equinoxes, the different, points of the wheel of the year. Like all of these celebrations are really, really important to you, and you feel a lot of things deeply in your body. So your body is your biggest ally. Your body is going to always give you messages around what it is that you're meant to do, what your purpose is, etc. You're also naturally connected to the moon. You're the most connected to the moon out of pretty much anybody. You're also connected to, although you don't have the water element in you, but you're connected to smaller bodies of water, like natural springs and brooks. And for you, you can really bless water very, very well, and change the structure of water through speech. You also have the magical tongue, in a sense that You're really good with spells. You're really good with spell magic. So for you, it's actually really, really important to not inadvertently be programming your reality into something negative with the words that you say. Your words really matter. Your words have power even more so than people with other eye colors. So be careful what you say to who you say. Same thing is true with the curses. You can inadvertently curse somebody by just thinking bad about them. So be careful with the curses and like wishing somebody ill, because that is karma, my darlings. So unfortunately, it's very easy for you to accumulate that karma. And yeah, a lot of green-eyed people have the witch wound. So do watch out for that. Most likely you may have been a witch in a past life, so you may want to do some healing around it. Yeah, and that's that on the green-eyed people. Why don't we talk really quickly about the people with gray eyes? The gray-eyed people are kind of like almost like the closest to the blue-eyed people. So if you have gray eyes, a lot of the things that I said about the blue-eyed people are going to be applicable to you as well. However, another layer that you do have than, that the blue-eyed people don't have is almost the observer. You came here as an observer. The gray-eyed people are very good at distancing themselves from reality almost, or like the society, and looking at things from bigger picture. If you were an astrological sign, a zodiac sign, you would be a Libra, the scales. It's almost like, it's not like you quite, but you are a little bit of a judge archetype where you could be assessing all the time, very brainy, a lot in your head, and just looking around and just like, you feel injustice very, very deeply. And it's almost like you came here as an equalizer. You may have like a natural propensity or calling to like help a group of people, or like to right the wrongs or somehow help the injustice. That's a lot, like that's just kind of like what you have. At the same time, you're quite impartial, right? Like you seek to do the right thing. Things like honor are very important to you. Commitments are very important to you. You always seek to do what you said you were going to do. So following up is really, really important to you. But you may be a little bit cold. You may be a little bit more removed. Like for you, sometimes it's hard to either display your emotions or to even understand what it is that you're feeling. You are connected to ancestors. Gray-eyed people have a natural connection to ancestors. You also have a natural connection to the realm of spirit, but not like the blue-eyed people. You may be able to connect with ghosts and primal energies. So again, also elementals, but ghosts are like the diseased ones, different phantoms, spirits, different entities in general. Like you may be able to see them better than others or understand them better than others. You make really good mediums, connecting to you and talking to the spirits of the dead. You make really good fortune tellers, actually, and like looking at the Palantir, a crystal ball. The best crystal ball readers actually gray-eyed people. Kind of random, but I figured I'd say this. You have a very magnetic eyes. You're really, really good at manifesting things. Because the magnetic eyes means like you bring things into your orbit. Out of all the eye colors, you're most likely to just attract things to you as opposed to go after things and like, achieve and like heavily like try to just go after things actively. You're more like sit still, align your chakras, and like the things would come to you. But again, a lot of the things that I said about the blue-eyed people are going to be applicable to you. People who have hazel eyes are usually like a combination of like brown, green, kind of a little bit of gold. So everything that I said about brown-eyed people and green-eyed people, you're kind of a merge of them. If you have a touch of gold in your eyes, it's a solar connection. It's a solar connection, which means that you're a solar baby. You draw your power from the sun, so pay attention to the sun. You have solar magic in your veins. You have an ability to accumulate a lot of solar light and emanate it into the world. You probably have come here with a mission. Even if you just have specks of gold in your irises, that could be that. What powers you, what empowers you is the metal gold. So wear a lot of the metal gold. That would help center you and amplify your energy. You are also a healer if you have golden eyes, but it does apply to a lot of people with hazel eyes. But healer not in the physical sense. You can heal people's souls and you can help heal people's emotions, right? So it's not just the physical healing. You can go deeper in terms of the level. Because of that, you're also quite magical. But again, what else? The people about the gold eyes. You may communicate with animals, have an easier time understanding animals, or like why they're doing certain things. You may have altruistic tendencies, meaning you have a little bit of a savior complex. So for you, it's actually really important to understand what is your mission, because you tend to be the golden-eyed people, hazel-eyed people tend to be very mission-driven. So you need to understand exactly who you came here to help. There's a little bit of a service archetype with people who have golden/hazel eyes. You're here to serve most likely. And if not people, then a cause. So always ask yourself, who am I here to serve? Who am I here to help, right? All right, my darlings, I'll take a question from the collective around this. The question is, for those people that have one eye of one color and the other eye of the other color, does it mean they have both energies? And the answer is yes. It's kind of like your higher self couldn't make a choice, and so it chose both. And another question that comes through, what about the eyes that change color like throughout the day? Like when you're not sure, is it blue? Is it gray? Is it, what color it is? If you're not sure, it usually means that both energies, again, are present. And that is completely normal, right? So just listen to the descriptions of both of these energies. Another interesting question coming through the collective. What if I am changing my eye color through wearing lenses? Like if I'm putting like, a green lens into my eye, colored lens, but my eyes are naturally brown. Like, would I be displaying the energy of somebody with a green eyes? The answer is no. Can't really fake it so easily. Energy that runs through your body is a little bit more complicated than that. Just because something comes across a certain way doesn't mean it is. So no, by wearing colored lenses, you are not shifting the composition and the outlook of your energies. You may become prettier in your opinion, but your energy is still the same. Alrighty, my darlings, so this was a lot of fun for me. Please let me know if you're watching this on YouTube, if you resonate with what I said in the comments, if your eye color does describe you. And also, maybe having listened to this, maybe you wish you had a different energy or different eye color. Maybe you're like, low-key like, ooh, I wish I had blue eyes or something. Really curious to learn what you think, and sending you a big virtual hug. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, darlings.